Hey everybody, Logan here. Yeah, I know I've been rather quiet about the Switch 2 besides making the Pro Controller video and, well, talking about it on the latest episode of Ready to Start podcast. Well, whenever you're watching this, it's episode 58. I've been wrestling with whether or not I should buy it and whether or not I should tell people my opinion on if it's worth buying. If you guys have been following the channel for quite some time, or even just recently, you've watched any of my videos, you've seen that I have a rather large Switch collection for a total of, I think, 14 consoles and 840 games physically. Digitally, I think it's around 300 something. So I'm pretty heavily invested in the Nintendo Switch. The 2 is very powerful. Now, the price, we'll talk about that in a moment. We're just going to recap what we know, and then I'm going to get into my full opinion on it. But the Switch 2 is significantly more powerful than the regular Switch. It's more powerful than any handheld PC right now. It's more powerful than the ROG Ally X, and it's definitely more powerful than the Steam Deck. And, well, those two are starting to show their age with everything we've seen with the Switch 2. Now, we do know that there is a new ROG Ally Xbox handheld coming. That was spoiled, and, well, Asus put that out. We don't know the specs on that, and we don't know the price. So we're not going to even put that into the consideration here, but don't shoot it out of the back of your head. Keep that tucked away back there in the future, just in case you're one of those PC people. Or, well, if it's an Xbox handheld, we don't know if it's going to be Xbox Game Pass or PC Game Pass or Xbox and PC. So again, let's not focus on that. We're focusing on the Switch 2 and whether or not it's worth it. So we see that the power is there. It is larger than the regular Switch. It has features that the original Switch does not. It has features that people think are rather superfluous, like the mouse feature. Hey, you know, I've seen a couple of people say that people use that once and, you know, play with the gimmick and never touch it again. It's not like the Switch Joy-Cons, where that was a very important feature. This one is just a fad gimmick, if you will. I don't know. That remains to be seen. Does it seem like something I'll use? Well, after what they've shown, probably not. If we look at some of the accessories and the pricing and what they offer, especially that Pro Controller, it's very lackluster. It's missing Hall effect sticks. Some people say because of some of the features within the controller or within the console, that's why they're not using Hall effect sticks in the Joy-Con or the controller. I think that's nonsense, especially for the controller itself. No Hall effect sticks and no analog triggers, yet they're saying, hey, GameCube games needed those analog triggers. So there's a lot of issues with the console itself. And now we come to pricing. We do know that a lot of people expected that $350 to $400 price range. And well, that did not happen. We're looking at $450 and $500 in the United States respectively as of recording. We don't know what's going on because of political nonsense, but I have a feeling things aren't going to change. I think that's going to be the price. It will still release on June 5th. So if we look at it that way and just say, hey, this is a $450 machine with accessories that are rather pricey compared to their original counterparts that do very much the same, and games. A lot of people were under the impression that all the games were going to be $80 from Nintendo, and then we saw the Mario Kart, which is $80 digitally as well as physically, and then we got the Donkey Kong, which is $70 digitally and physically. Now, Doug Bowser did say that it is I guess you could say a staggered pricing is what they're looking at. that it depends on the game and it depends on the production, it depends on what's gone into it. But a lot of people are questioning, is a Mario Kart game ultimately an $80 game? Some people are even referring to it as Mario Kart Horizon. So if you've ever played Forza Horizon, you know that it became a $70 game. And is it worth it? That's debatable. But this one being pretty much the same thing, but with Mario Kart characters, is it worth it? That's debatable. Some people are claiming inflation. Well, if anything lately can say, inflation's starting to go down. If not, flatten across the board. So that's something to keep in mind. I think Nintendo is just being a company that likes to make money. So they're putting out a more powerful system with amazing specs for a handheld, and people are going to buy it. And they know people are going to buy it. Is it going to be as popular as a Switch? I don't know. I'm getting 3DS vibes and Ambassador Program vibes that people had a guttural reaction to the 3DS when it came out, and Nintendo dropped the price almost immediately and then said, here, we're sorry, with the Ambassador Program games. I'm getting that kind of vibe here, but I don't think it's going to be the case. I don't think they're going to drop it that drastically. I don't think we're going to see a price drop until we get a Switch 2 Lite, and I think that's how it's going to be. But that's my personal opinion. So with all this being laid out in front of us, and the prices, the games, the features of the console and the accessories, is it worth buying? At least not day one. No. I want to say no, but I want to say yes. Ultimately, I'm going to have to say, for the average gamer, I don't think it's necessary day one unless you want Mario Kart. The scalpers are already snatching them up overseas in Europe, and they're trying to sell them for a few $100s more. I don't see people biting on that. I don't see that happening. I think the scalpers are going to feel a lot of hurt like they did with the PlayStation 5 Pro, where they're just going to end up sitting on them and then, selling them at a loss. I have a feeling that's going to happen. Also, Nintendo made a, statement quite some time ago that pretty much scalpers be damned. They're going to make sure there's more than enough units at retail. So, yeah, we got that, and pre-orders don't always necessarily determine how many units a company will get. It's an idea. So, as someone who worked for both GameStop and Best Buy in the past, I could say, hey, if we had gotten, let's say, 100 pre-orders, they would say, all right, you've got 100. That seems like quite a bit. Let's send anywhere from 2 to 4 times the amount. Unless it was something that was on constraint for pre-order only, there you go. But what I think is going to end up happening, we're going to have a launch of pre-orders. Then Nintendo's going to be like, okay, these companies have the most pre-orders. We're going to send them this many. Companies will start opening up more pre-orders. Nintendo will go, okay, we're going to send this many more. And that's how it works with a company who's claimed that they've been selling or manufacturing these units for sale for quite some time, so retailers will have them. From my understanding, I don't know how true it is, these units have been manufactured for more than a year now. So, yeah, we're going to see quite a few units available, especially here in the US. So I don't really think you have to worry about the scalper nonsense, and plus there's a lot of backlash about people not liking that price. Yeah, I'm sorry, not liking a price because it's more powerful and has more features and more functionality than a Steam Deck that nobody complained about being $400. I'm like, it's the next wave. It is more expensive because it is more powerful. And people are like, oh, it's Nintendo, it's a toy. No, it's not. It still has all the big names that you could want. Microsoft has even signed on to put Call of Duty on there. EA signed on to put their sports games. and 2K has signed on to put on the WWE and NBA. Games that we saw very sparse in the Switch's life. So we've got some pretty big hitters already coming, including games like Doom, and Doom the Dark Ages will be coming along with a number of other Microsoft games. I do know this for a fact. So this is going to be a good machine. Is it worth buying day one? I'm gonna have to say no for the average gamer. For someone like me, yes. If you're hardcore, if you're a content creator, if you're someone that other people look to for their gaming information, or just, that guy in your friends group that always has the latest stuff and people go, hey buddy, should I buy this? Can I see yours? Can I test it out? I'm on the fence. Hey, perfect. Go buy it. Or if you're just a FOMO person, hey, you always got that. Personally, I'm going to buy one for myself, and then I'm going to get one for my wife because she's a massive Animal Crossing fan, so she'll be migrating her animals from one Switch to another. Okay, so yes, she's going to put hers over there, and then that's about it. And I will, of course, be playing all my games. There's a ton of games that I have not started playing here on the Switch because I want the boost that is on the Switch too. So there you go. The answer is yes, and the answer is no, if it's worth it. It all depends on who you are, what you're looking for. Is it that big of a deal to you? And can you wait? I think a Switch 2 Lite is going to be big. Big. But hey, that's, if the past has taught us anything, that's 2 years down the road. But hey, there you go. Hopefully that answered some stuff. If not, hopefully you just enjoyed listening to my opinion. Thank you guys so much. God bless you all. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. Take care of yourselves and each other. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.